everybody, my name is Suyash. You're watching Mind Body Spirit. Today we're going to talk about something very interesting. Has it ever happened with you that when you're just going to sleep, when you're done with all your day's work and now all that remains in the day is to just go to sleep? Has it ever happened that at that time you start feeling really motivated? Sometimes you feel so motivated that you are not able to sleep. You don't want to sleep. You just want to keep thinking about how motivated you are. And you are thinking that, you know what, when I get up tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I am just going to achieve all my dreams and my life is going to change. Finally, I know what I have to do to make all my dreams come true. And then you go to sleep, and then when you get up the next day, now how do I put this gently? To put it gently, your life doesn't get changed the next day because not much gets done the next day. Not much changes the next day. The next day is just like the previous day. The day that went before you were all motivated and excited. Now, why does that happen? Let us talk about that in this video. I'll tell you why this happens, and I'll also tell you how you can harness that motivation which fizzles out the next day, how you can harness that motivation and get stuff done the next day. In what ways can you use that motivation? So I recommend you to watch this video till the end. Before going to the main topic of the video, I'll just take 5 seconds to announce something. On Sunday in the night at 9 p.m, I will be going live on this channel. If you don't live in India, just use any time converter on the internet to convert the time from 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time to your own time zone. And I hope that you will be able to join us over here live. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and also hit the bell icon so that you are notified as soon as I go live. Also, I am pretty active on Instagram and Facebook, and I also make announcements about live sessions, etc. And you can also send me direct messages on Instagram and Facebook. So make sure that if you are not following me already, follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well. Now let's get started with our main topic. Let's start with why this happens. Well, why it happens is because when you are going to sleep, you are done with your day. There is nothing else that you are supposed to do. And now whatever action you have to take towards your goals, towards your dreams will be 7-8 hours in the future, right? And since there is no immediate action, the action point is delayed. The action point is 7 to 8 hours later. What you do is, now you have two options. You have one option, you can waste your time, you can just do whatever you are comfortable with, what you have been doing all this while. And the second option is the option that you have been procrastinating since a long time, the option that will take you to your goals. Now, when the action point is 7 to 8 hours in the future, it is very easy to choose the option that is right, the option which will be more productive. Right? And so because right now you don't have to do anything, your commitment is 8 hours in the future, not in the present. You choose what is right, you choose what you should be doing instead of what you want to be doing, right? Then when you get up the next day, what happens is that the action point is there. You wake up on the action point itself. And so when you wake up, well, if you have to do what you planned last night, you have to start doing it. The action point is right now. And then what happens is you choose the option that is more tempting. You choose the option that you are more comfortable with. Sometimes you choose the option that is more fun. Sometimes you choose the option which will allow you to be lazy, right? And when I say you, I mean we, because this happens with me as well. Now, this brings us to a very important point, something that I keep saying all the time, something that I keep reminding myself, and that is that motivation alone is not going to work. If we are motivated, that's okay, that's good. It's good to be motivated. If we are not motivated, again, that's a problem. But motivation alone will not take us to our goals. It will not take us to our dreams. What we need along with motivation is discipline. When we are motivated and also when we are disciplined, then the magic happens. Then we are motivated towards our goals, but we are also disciplined enough to be able to take action that we may not be comfortable with. We are disciplined and hence we are ready to move out of our comfort zone. Now, how do you make sure that when you're motivated in the night and you know that tomorrow you're going to need discipline and you're not going to be as motivated as you are in the night, how do you make sure that when you get up the next day, you do the things that you are planning to do on the previous night? Now, let me tell you 2 or 3 things that you can do, 2 or 3 things that have really worked for me, and I would highly recommend you to try them as well. The first thing that I do is I make an action plan in the night itself. It can be something very simple. You know, if you're sleepy, you don't need to open your laptop and really make a well formatted action plan. It can be something, I just open WhatsApp and I just send a friend a message, and that friend asked me, hey, why are you sending this? And I'm like, I was too sleepy to make a proper note, so I just sent you a message. I just note somewhere 3 or 4 points that I'm going to do. So I'm going to get up at this time. I decide when I'm going to get up and I write it. It's not on my mind. It's either on paper or somewhere in text. So maybe on my mobile phone, maybe on my planner. So I write it down that I'm going to get up at this time, and then I'm going to get ready in maybe 1 hour. And then I'm going to start with this work, and this work will have maybe 3 or 4 elements. I don't go into too much detail because I'm sleepy. I want to go to sleep, right? But I just write it in some detail, 3-4 points, what I'm going to do. Then when I get up the next day, I mechanically do these things. It is very much possible. In fact, mostly what happens is that motivation is not there. But what I do is that I know that because I wrote that action plan, if I don't do it, I'll feel pretty guilty. I'll feel pretty bad about myself. So I mechanically just start working on that action plan that I made the previous night. When I do that, when you work on an action plan that you wrote down, even if you're not feeling motivated, even if had you not written it down, had you not sort of forced yourself to mechanically work on that plan, you would have probably procrastinated it. But still, when you do it, when you force yourself to mechanically do it, 2 things happen. The first thing that happens is you feel really wonderful. We have talked about in a previous video about action, that when we are just waiting for our goals to materialize, whether we are applying the law of attraction or we are not applying the law of attraction for that goal, in both of these cases, when we are just waiting for that goal to materialize, waiting is very cumbersome. We hate waiting. Whereas when we take action towards our goals, we feel wonderful. So first thing that happens is we feel really good. The second thing that happens is we realize that, you know what, I've been procrastinating this since last 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, 2 months. I have, because I'm expanding this time to 2 months. In the past, I have procrastinated things for 3-4 months sometimes, right? And then when I did this, when I mechanically started working on it, I realized, hey, this isn't that bad. It's actually pretty good. It's fun. It's sort of challenging, but I like that I'm able to overcome that challenge. Makes me feel really good about myself, and I'm really having fun with it, and I'm moving towards my goal. And then I realized that because of that action, I sort of gain back the motivation that I was feeling the previous night. Isn't it? So motivation can get you started on the path of discipline, and then when you are slightly disciplined and you take action, and when you start having fun with that action, maybe you won't even have fun with the action, but still you will feel accomplished. You'll feel really good because you took that action. That will bring back that motivation because you are on the way towards your goals. So that is the first thing. At night, when you are feeling that motivation, make an action plan. The next morning, mechanically, without the motivation, just begin, just start to work on that plan. The second thing that really works for me is to start doing that work. Whatever you're motivated to do, just start taking action in the night itself. Just complete maybe 2 to 3%, 5%, if possible 10% of the work in the night itself. What that does is, because you are feeling motivated, you harness that motivation and you take a part of the action. The next morning when you get up, the motivation is not there anymore, but you've already started with the work. The work is on the way. And there is something that we all must have experienced, that starting something from the scratch is difficult. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a certain level of commitment. But to continue with something that we have already started is easier than that. It may not be easy, but it is easier than that. And so this is something that has really worked for me, that in the night when I'm feeling really motivated, when I'm feeling really good, I start doing the work, and then the next morning and before going to sleep, again, I make an action plan. So the first technique that I taught you still remains. So I make an action plan that, okay, I'm done with 10% of the work. Tomorrow's goal is at least either finish it or at least take it to 75-80%. And so tomorrow I'm going to do this. Now I have an idea how this is going to work, so I know how much time it's going to take. So I make a sort of an action plan. And then when I get up the next day, the first technique takes over and I mechanically start working. Because I've already started the night before, the work is easy. Continuing is easy. Starting in the morning is easy, right? So I highly recommend you to try this. This problem that, I feel motivated in the night and not in the morning, it is so famous. I keep seeing memes on Instagram and Facebook. I keep seeing people sharing jokes about this, but this is something that you can actually do and you can actually harness that motivation. So I recommend you to try it. And also, if you think that this video, these techniques will help a friend of yours, make sure you share it with him. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. Any comments or feedback, use the comment section down below. Make sure you subscribe and also hit the bell icon. And I'll see you in my live session very soon. Bye-bye.